This happened when I was 16. Still in high school. Still relying on my mom or my own 2 feet to get around. It was the weekend. My friend Haley was having a few of us over because her parents were out of town. My mom dropped me off and told me if she wasn't back by the time I needed a ride, I should just walk home. Haley lived only about 20 minutes away on foot. Everything started off fine. It was me, Haley, and a few of our girlfriends hanging out in her backyard. Then, out of nowhere, some boys from our school showed up. Haley hadn't told me she invited them. One of them was a guy I had some uncomfortable history with, so I wasn't happy. After a while, I decided I just wasn't feeling it. I left. I texted Haley how annoyed I was. She apologized, begged me to come back, but I just wanted to go home. About 5 minutes into my walk, I slowed down. I thought I heard footsteps behind me. I stopped, and the footsteps stopped too. I turned around and saw a middle-aged man with a hoodie pulled over his head, hands in his pockets, and a weird smile on his face. He said, "How you doing?" I responded with a short hi, then turned around and kept walking. It's the suburbs people walk at night sometimes, even if it's late. But 5 more minutes passed, and every time I looked back, he was still there. Same distance, maybe a little closer. He spoke again. "Isn't it a beautiful night? Love this weather," I answered, briefly, just enough to be polite, but I didn't slow down. Then he asked, "You from the neighborhood?" "No," I said firmly. I started texting my friends for help. Ironically, the boy I didn't want to see earlier, Brandon, was the one who agreed to come pick me up. That's when the man behind me said something that chilled me to the core. He said, "I'm not gonna hurt you. You live by the elementary school, right?" I stopped and turned around. He had stopped too, still smiling. But now, it looked more fake, more twisted. I screamed, "Leave me alone," and I ran. He chased after me. I could hear his footsteps getting closer. I screamed again, louder this time, "Help me!" Lights in nearby houses started turning on. That must have scared him, because he suddenly turned and ran off into the darkness. I stayed with a nearby couple who came outside after hearing the noise. Soon, Brandon showed up and drove me home. It was only about a minute away, but it didn't end there. When we got to my house, my mom still wasn't home. I didn't want to be alone, so I asked Brandon to stay. We stayed up talking, trying to forget what had just happened. Then we heard footsteps circling the house. My room was upstairs and faced the backyard. We heard the gate creak open. I nearly called out Mom, but something told me not to. We looked out the window. No movement. Until we heard a man's voice say, "I see you up there." I gasped and stepped back from the window. Brandon shouted, "We're calling the cops, you freak." And we did. The cops arrived shortly after. Just having them there made me feel safer. Brandon stayed calm and talked to them. I was shaken, but relieved. My mom came home not long after. She was just as freaked out as I was. The police stayed around for a while to make sure we were safe. After that night, I never walked anywhere alone again. Even being in our backyard made me nervous. My mom had my uncle install security cameras, all clearly visible, to scare off anyone watching. Eventually, she decided to move. She couldn't stand seeing me live in fear. We never found out who that man was, how he knew where I lived, or why he came back that night. But I still remember his smile and that chilling voice that said,